everyone, thanks for climbing aboard with us. Our Best of Spring 2017 tour begins here in Springfield, Missouri, along BNSF's Fort Scott subdivision, linking Springfield and Kansas City. Coming in from Kansas City is this loaded coal train. Passing over Westgate Avenue and into Nichols Junction, the train is slowed down quite a bit for a tight curve ahead, leading to the Cherokee subdivision and Springfield Yard. As seen by the sign, the speed limit through the curve is just 25 miles an hour. The reporting marks on the hopper cars, RWSX, are for the Robert W. Schurer power plant in Macon, Georgia. The Schurer coal trains are a pretty common sight here along the Fort Scott sub, since that plant receives 2 or more of these trains a day. Bringing up the rear end are 2 General Electric engines. On the other side of Nichols Junction at the Meteor Street crossing is a sand train rolling in off the Cherokee subdivision from Tulsa. These trains run to and from areas in Oklahoma and Texas, where the sand is used for the fracking process of drilling for gas. Earlier in the season, we caught a surprise at Eldon Street. BNSF's officer train was headed to Tulsa. These old cars all date back to the days of the Santa Fe and several Burlington Northern predecessors. Let's head now to the east side of Springfield at Catalpa Street along the Thayer North subdivision heading off to Memphis. 4 GE units come stomping around the corner with a high-priority double-stack intermodal train. Starting its journey in the Los Angeles area, this train came in on the Cherokee sub from Tulsa and is bound for Memphis. Well, things sure didn't stay quiet for long. Here is that sand train we saw back at Nichols Junction earlier in the day. Now we head back over to the Fort Scott sub, about 20 miles west of Springfield. GEVOs charge by and across Dade County Road 231 near Everton with a coal train. The markings on these cars report JHMX, meaning this run is bound for the James H. Miller Power Plant near Birmingham, Alabama. SD70 Aces shove from behind. Another 30 miles west of Everton, we find ourselves in Golden City, Missouri. Rounding the bend is a coal train with a surprise up front. It's a Norfolk Southern engine along with a 25-year-old former Burlington Northern engine. This RWSX train is headed back to the mines in Wyoming. BNSF hands these trains off to Norfolk Southern in Birmingham for forwarding on to Georgia. More Norfolk Southern engines on the back, a GEVO and an SD70 Ace. NS run-through engines like these are becoming increasingly common on the Fort Scott sub. Up the hill, we can see our coal train meeting another train, which will soon get the green light to head our way. It sure is our day for surprises. Take a look at that Santa Fe painted Dash 9 unit in the trailing position. You can tell we're getting a lot closer to Kansas, with the grain elevators becoming more plentiful and the hills giving way to prairies. This is an empty ballast train made up entirely of old Santa Fe and Burlington Northern hoppers, most still riding around in their original BN and ATSF reporting marks. Our tour of the Fort Scott sub ends in its namesake town of Fort Scott, Kansas, some 100 miles west of Springfield. A flashing yellow block signal beckons our train slowly forward. Looking at the yard, we see a southbound from Kansas City rolling in. Until last year, Fort Scott was a crew change point for all trains. Now, all crews run the entire route between Kansas City and Springfield. Just south of here, the Fort Scott sub continues on to Springfield, while the Afton sub diverges toward Tulsa. Most traffic through Fort Scott is heading to and from Springfield. Tulsa trains continue to change crews here. And with that, the sun begins to set on this journey, covering the best of our train catches in the early spring of 2017. Until next time, I'm Locomotive Mike. Happy tracking!